highly recommend you guys to check that TV series out because it is one of the most inspirational series that we've ever seen, and it's completely geeky. Believe me, they talk about bits and bytes, and I've never seen in the television before. So we actually created a product that can actually compress your data by more than 50%. 50% is a play that we must make to make ourselves play in the safe zone, but sometimes it can go all the way up to 98% also. And what we are talking about is actually live lossless data that you can compress with the product that we have built. So it all started off one night when we both decided, this is Swaathi, and I'm Karthik, if I'm not introduced myself. So it all started out when we actually decided that we want to quit the startup scene, and we were left with very little money in our bank, which is not more than $2. And we decided, okay, let's go back home, quit doing the startups, and let's go ahead work for someone else for a few years, and then come back and do it. But that day, magically, we got a call saying that, hey, we have a huge data problem, and I heard that you guys have something that you guys are working on. So would you guys be interested to deliver that software to us? We were like, this is the kick that we have been waiting for. So let's do that. So ever since then, there's no looking back. We worked hard every single day, and we got the first prototype out for the customer in less than 60 days. So what you're about to see here throughout the presentation is something that we are at the liberty of showing some of the stuff, and we request you to actually keep all the information within this room and within your brain, and anything.
So we do a live stream, so if you are not comfortable, we should be stopped.
No, that's okay. We are playing on the same plan, so I'm just saying. So that is exactly what we're going to show. So whatever we are going to show here is actually something which is live and which is real, and we don't have the practice of manipulating data or anything of that sort. So I'll probably hand it over to Swaathi, and she heads our product division. And here you go.
Hi everybody, thanks for inviting me. So, so building Piper for real. Our team is back there. Can I hear some noise? So this is the brilliant minds behind Shrink. It's crazy. It's been a crazy 2 years journey for us from getting from $2 to saying that we've got employees. So it's been a pretty crazy journey. So this talk, I'm sorry if you guys were expecting kind of a technical talk, but this is more of a trials and tribulations that we've had for the past 2 years and what we've learned so far. So it's going to be three simple stories: the people, process, and product. These are the three values that we deeply believe in, and I hope I deliver that. So keep calm and store more. All right. The first one, people. So when we started, we didn't even know what HTML and JavaScript and Rails or Python or anything was. We just had this idea that, you know what, this is a huge problem that people are facing and we should really be the ones to solve it. So we just got together, we started hacking around. I think it was three or four people who started hacking around, and we kind of got a prototype in about a week or something, and it actually worked. And that was amazing. So this is the amazing team behind Shrink. We're so proud to have them up here. So when we started out, like I said, we didn't know anything at all, but we truly believed in these people. And it was not that we hired from some top shot company or some top shot college. It was just people who had the same faith and who had the same passion to change something and bring something cool out into the world. So yeah, if you love your work, you're never going to work a day in your life. That is something that we truly believe in. And believe it or not, we've still got two people who are yet to come out of college, and we've done this huge enterprise application, and that has try to keep the boat afloat for so long. Right. So the second one. So process. We're a startup. We tend to believe that we can just work the entire day, work the entire night, and try to get things moving along. But as we scaled up, as we started, having a couple of customers and having deployments happening all across the entire, around the clock, we started thinking that process is a huge thing for us, right? It's no more just getting together and building something and hoping it will work, right? So process became a huge important factor for us right here. So I've got 4 things to share with you. So since we are a startup, there is no such thing as like higher management. You're supposed to give all these reports and all that. So we do take a benefit from that since we can use our creative energy and try to get the engine moving along. So the first thing that I would totally believe in is taking ownership. So if there is something like wrong with the UI or there's something wrong with the compression engine, right? I can have one person that I point out and just say, you know what, please fix it. This has gone wrong and just do it. And the best part is people just take ownership. There is no pointing fingers. There's nothing like, I didn't do this, you did that, right? So that is an important part. So as I guess responsibility and taking ownership has really proven that we can do something for the product and using the right tools. So when we started out, it was just kind of sharing code with each other and just editing out in text and Sublime and all that stuff. But it didn't work out. As we started growing, as we started scaling up, it just didn't work out. So things like Slack, things like GitHub, and I don't know, any other tools that error detection tools, all these things ended up being taking a huge role and taking a huge impact in the product that we deliver. And this I cannot stress more. So do what is right for the product. There has been so many times in the entire product development cycle that we just thought this is too hard. I'm just not going to do it. I don't feel like doing it. But when we looked at it, the entire customers, the phase and the people that we are delivering it to, we started thinking that it's about the product. It is never about the people. It is all about hard work and what you show in the product. And I'm totally against meetings. I really think they're a complete waste of time because you just keep talking and there's nothing getting done. So having smaller and powerful meetings ended up being a huge impact in how we make things grow. So the last one, I'm handing it over to Patrick to talk about the product.
Right. So I'm sure many are wondering what this presentation is all about and what are you guys going to talk about, right? So currently I'm going to talk about some technical aspects of the product. So usually when we actually talk about compression, what comes into your mind in the first place? Zip, right? Which is one type of algorithm. And what is zip used for? Any particular file types? Any file type, right? Little. So if it gives you a perception that you can actually compress any file type, but it ultimately runs only one type of compression algorithm inside, right? So we wanted to change all those things, and we realized as we developed the product, we realized that one type of compression algorithm is not going to be enough for all the file types that are existing. So whenever a file hits shrink server, what we do is the machine actually looks at the file. If it is an image, it's going to use the computer vision algorithms to look at the file, decide which algorithm is the best. We have nearly 17 different algorithms running on the server. So it decides which algorithm is the best, and then it makes a decision in a jiffy, and it compresses it, and then stores it back to wherever you want. So it acts as a middleware between you and your production server, production storage. Or it can be the other way. You can actually install Shrink as a middleware between your production storage and your backup. So this has actually proven to be one of the most efficient ways the customer can save cost in terms of data. Till today, we have actually compressed over 1 petabyte of data so far with Shrink, and we have proven to be cutting down costs by more than 40%. And currently, we have 10 Fortune 500 companies as our customers, and the journey has been very, very amazing. This is something we never thought we'll be able to achieve, but we have achieved. I think the only reason that we were able to achieve is because of the hard work. And also, one more point that we wanted to make, one more very strong point that we wanted to make is that we wanted to create a company that is completely unconventional. Whenever we think about the compression algorithms or huge data handling services or anything out of the world large, we think about Silicon Valley, right? We think about Silicon Valley and we think about the engineers who work. We have always wondered and looked up at Silicon Valley, thinking that they are the gods and goddesses of the technology industry. We wanted to change all those perspectives sitting right here in Chennai, not even in Bangalore. Sorry if I'm doing that, but we wanted to change every single thing. And that has been one of the biggest motivational factors for us to create such an amazing product in very less time and be successful in terms of acquiring customers. And even today, we are actually in talks to move data centers from local storages, local data centers to the cloud with Shrink with one single server. So that is the amount of efficiency that we were able to, achieve. And probably we can show a very quick demo if possible of Shrink and how we can actually compress some data types if you guys want. Would you guys like to see that? So, so, what you are actually seeing here is something which is very basic, and we literally use the web interface for demo purposes and also other purposes for making sure the customer understands what level of compression we can actually achieve. So, for example, this PSD file, which was 101 MB, got compressed all the way up to 37.5 MB, which is still 5% to 6% more than what your regular tar or zip can offer for this particular image, right? For this particular PSD file. But if we are talking about some more formats, I can actually show you some more data here. So this is one of the basic examples that we use for a PNG file, right? What I'm showing you is a very low, very less sized PNG file, which is just 8.62 MB, and it got compressed all the way up to 165 KB. And when you download it, it's going to be the same way. It's going to get you the same file back with the metadata. There is no loss whatsoever. We offer 99.99% lossless compression. So that is one of the things that we were able to achieve in the very short period of time. And we are trying to, the current server that is running right here is a very small test server that we have hosted in our office. So what do you think the RAM amount is in this particular server for compression? Any idea? Sorry? Sorry? 1 gig? No. Our production server is 196 GB. So okay, so this is a very regular desktop computer that we actually got it from the market out of the box, and then we assembled it, and it is a 4 gig RAM, and the compression can happen at an average of 16 seconds, and the decompression happens at the average of 2 seconds. So that is the speed at which we were able to write the code at this point, and we are still trying to improve the compression time so that we can actually move data and without the user knowing that the data is getting compressed and being moved, right? So that is one of the things that we are constantly working on. And does it make sense, or you guys want some more information on this front?
Yes.
Yeah.
As I'm looking for not exactly better understand, but could you give some more information on what you talked about? It recognizes the file type and then its image it applies artificial intelligence. Could you explain a bit more what are the different type of file formats you support and a bit more?
Okay. So currently we have, I told you about 16 different algorithms, right? So we have 5 algorithms dedicated for generic file formats, which acts more like zip. So all the rest of the 11 different algorithms support over 1,500 file formats, which includes PSD, images, JPEG, RAW images. That is the first. RAW images can go all the way up to 96% also sometimes for us. And you give me any file format, and I'll be able to compress it for you no matter what. So let me actually show you some file formats here. For example, these files, right? So if you actually test the server out, I'll be happy to give you some access to the server for testing. But every single file, we support 1,500 file formats, as I said, and DB backups, DBF files, Oracle database files. MySQL, we are not able to touch it because of the licensing issues, but we also work with AutoCAD and Acrobat, Adobe to actually understand they've exposed some of their file format architecture to us, and we were able to achieve some more compression on that front.
These 16 algos, if they're already in the web, or you guys created some of them? Or?
So some of them are actually our own, and some of them are forks of those open source algorithms that we currently use.
So all of them have been forked, minimum forked.
Not all of them. So most of them are on our own. So some of them are forked. I could say 2, 3 are forked.
And all of these are lossless.
Yes.
Completely lossless.
Yes. To be on the safer side, we say 99.99% because one of the hardships that we had when we launched at GITEX in Dubai last year was that people were not believing that it was lossless. So we were like, okay, it's 99.99% lossless, and we saw an increase in the sign-up forms and everything. So that's what we use.
How about your support for databases, data?
Yes. So we are currently working on a multi-tenant architecture exclusively for such scenarios. So where you have a one compression small node sitting on each and every distributed data center, and one major node sitting on your headquarters, and the data is compressed over there, and it sends here, decompresses, and passes the same.
And is the compression also can be done with
Not really at this point, but maybe we'll be doing it in the next few years.
Why you need a computer vision to find the file format?
Because we wanted the computer to behave the same way we behave, right? We have two pictures with different qualities. You will be able to identify the quality difference between these two, right? Right? So exactly the same way we wanted the computers to behave, so that it decides what the human eye can see and check the loss percentages in those things and decide if it can be compressed or not. It makes a decision based on the computer vision. We have over 1,000 parameters which runs through for each and every image to understand the quality of the image and what are the bars that we have set for the computer to actually decide on which compression algorithm can be done.
So beyond let's say a JPG file or a JPEG or whatever PNG or your algo is not like PNG then do this. It's not like that. It's going to go into the internals and then decide
Yes.
which one to do it.
Yes. It takes a sample, say.
So PNG is one of those 1,000 parameters.
Yes, obviously.
Speaking of JPG, the worst file format in the world. How does it fare? Do you have benchmarks?
We do have. I can share the benchmarks with you if possible. Drop us an email.
And how do you determine whether there is loss or not, or if so, how much loss?
As I said, the computers have advanced enough to decide on what the human eye can see, if the human eye can see the loss percentage or not.
Oh, so there is loss, but it's not discernible by people.
It cannot be seen by people anytime.
But there is loss.
Yeah.
That's one.
Because our visions cannot go beyond 8K, if I'm not wrong.
I understand. But how do you calculate how much has been lost?
That is something that we do proprietary. We are waiting for the patent for that. But we take nearly 1,200 data parameters for each and every single image. We measure that with the benchmark levels of the human retina, and then we see how close it is, and then we decide if we should compress
So
it
the
or not.
loss is mostly the noise in the image. It's never the quality or it's never the color profile of the image. It's basically the noise.
Right.
So what we found out is that you can actually extract each and every single profile of a particular image. For example, you're shooting an image with your camera, right? You can extract the color profile separately and everything separately and store it in a very least file format and to save you space. And when you're downloading it, we attach all these things to you and then you give it back.
Am I to understand you only deal with visual formats, or do you also do audio and video?
We do audio and video also.
How do you do that?
So for audio, we do based on for audio, it's just straightforward. I'm going to be honest with you. It is just the regular compression algorithms that we use. But for video, it is completely different. We take each and every frame, sample it, and then make it behave exactly like what we do for images, and then decide if we should go ahead with the compression or not.
That's an inter.
Yes, it is an interface.
How much compression will you achieve in case of video?
Videos for .ts formats, we've been able to do somewhere around 79%. But out of the 100 terabytes test that we have done over the past few weeks, we have been able to achieve on an average of 59%.
So maybe we spoke about the lossless compression,
Correct.
but that's more for human.
Yes.
But I believe that's not the case for your data related.
No. Definitely
For
not.
data, you don't use computer vision.
No, we don't use it. Simple.
For data, it's more like a common.
Yes, we take the texts and then use a lot of the different stuff.
So your customers, the customers of you would be the one who would be having a lot of images.
Currently, we are actually surprised that we have a variety of customers. We aimed at media industry to go with, but we are getting a lot of publishing industries and a company which owns 80% of the UAE's publishing market is actually a customer and they've been using it for a while and the results have been stunning. So they use a lot of PSDs and they also use, for example, Dubai World Trade Center. They use a lot and lots of AutoCAD files for designing their interiors and all those things. So whenever you organize an event in Dubai World Trade Center, you have to submit your interior designs to them for verification purposes. So and they have the necessity to store it as long as the time exists because of security purposes. So we've been able to work with them as well to compress their data, and it's been proven to be more than 50% for them in terms of cutting down cost and reusing their existing storage.
So your model is not based on a cloud solution, but rather you'll be deploying the solution.
Honestly, it doesn't make sense for us to move it to the cloud because when it touches the cloud, nobody cares about the storage space over there, right? So it's getting cheaper and cheaper in the cloud, but so nobody really cares. Because there is a latency for you to push the data to the local system to the cloud, and then if there is a latency for compression also, it's going to annoy you. So we don't want to do that at this point. And also we do have VMs which runs exclusively our kernels on Google Cloud. We are Google's elite technology partner, so they have given us access to run some of our cloud instances on their platform. But the cost is way too high. We will charge nearly $1,000 a day, so we're like, okay. Data streaming is something which isn't beta, so one company is testing it out. We're still working on it. We don't want to release something and then being sorry for it. There's any data loss. But yes, it doesn't work. We'll be able to show you to probably 6 months from now. So the architecture is going to be very, very simple for us. So we didn't want to build a huge architecture which is complex enough. So the entire setup process, as a customer, when you purchase, you expect the setup to be done for like 3 hours or 4 hours in terms of any other machine, say storage array or anything. So our setup process just takes not more than 5 minutes. So everything that you want to handle in terms of the setting up the server, adding mount points to our compression server, everything happens over the web portal that we have built. So everything is routed through that. So tech stack for the web portal, we have Ruby on Rails for handling all those things. And then internally, it is R and C. And then, R and C. And then we have the customized kernel that we use, which was built on top of it.
I've got something similar. What are the benchmarks? Honestly, I don't know if I should compare this with Zip because you say this is much superior than Zip. I don't even know what are the other players in this.
Okay.
It's
In
probably
addition
just
to
zip a file.
benchmarks, as well.
Sorry?
In addition to size benchmarks, I would like to see time benchmarks.
Time benchmark, right? So I don't remember the software name, but there used to be a software which takes your 1 GB file and compress all the way up to 100 MB or 1 MB, but it takes 72 hours.
Oh, the 32 KB zip bomb.
Zip bomb, right?
Yeah,
Some
32 KB.
Yeah, something like that. But it takes the 72 hours to compress and then 72 hours to decompress. We're talking about 15 seconds here for compression and 2 seconds for decompression on a 4 GB RAM machine. And for the customers, we usually deliver a 196 gigabits RAM with 64 cores, and it happens in a jiffy. So they don't even feel that it's compressed or anything of that sort.
Are you suggesting that this is memory intensive?
It is very memory intensive.
More memory intensive than CPU intensive?
More memory intensive than CPU. Yes.
Any public data which we can test for benchmarking purposes?
I can provide you some access to the server at our office, so you can probably go. It involves NDA process because we need to sign NDAs and SNDAs. That's what I'll be happy to do that.
So coming to the streaming point,
Yeah.
is the streaming layer to render the
Right now, no, we don't use any of those things. So
protocol
we basically use RMGP.
Yeah.
RSTP, sorry. very poor. RSTP we use it, but we're not really happy with that. So we want to do something out of RSTP, and we want to see what areas can be explored in that term. And
What is the SLA?
sorry,
What is the SLA? 99.9.
we haven't decided on anything yet. We have only one customer testing it out, and it's still in development.
For the streaming.
It's still in development.
So have you seen any listed papers?
We are scared about getting copied and all those things, so we are waiting for the patent and IP to be approved. So once that is done, we want to do something. We want to open source some of the aspects of it. We don't want to come with that.
Showcasing any events?
Yes, we launched at GITEX, and GITEX is one of the largest IT events for ITR, which happened in Dubai. We launched there, and we had a very good fraction of 90 customers who actually adopted the POCs and demos. So out of it, we had a conversion of 10 people.
What is one of Google's purposes?
So for Google, we support exporting your local data center data to the cloud. So where we actually compress your data here, send only the 30%, save your bandwidth by 70%, and then push it over there. And Google server runs our algorithms to decompress it and store it get stores.
So when you move to the cloud, local data, you guys distribute the chunks as a function.
We do distribute the chunks, but it's going to be it again depends on the customer. So if he has his own way of moving data over there, we don't disturb it at all. So basically, we don't want to touch the networking aspect of it. We want to stick on with compressing the data and sending it to the network infrastructure that you guys already have. So we're not expecting anything related to network here.
If you have any approximate time to, let's say, have 1 billion data,
So for 10 terabytes of data, it took us less than 10 hours. So that is the throughput with the 50 Mbps line. So it without shrink, it took nearly 14 hours for us. So that is the average thing that we are doing. I cannot reveal it, but it's for one of the biggest publishing companies at this point. But yes, we had a success rate. That is data migration from local data center to the cloud. That is something we did not expect. We landed on it. It's been one of the biggest learnings for us. That there is an area for us to explore.
So, if it was 10 TB, if that was the largest you've done, so what was the heterogeneity of data? Was it very the data type?
Okay. So for the 10 TB test data that we did, it was completely PDFs.
Okay.
And we wantedly did 50% PDF and 50% videos. So that's exactly what we did. But we haven't really tested. I'm just being open. We haven't really tested with a lot of data types yet. But I'm sure it's going to be very good.
I think you should test with JPG.
I know you hate JPG, but can't do anything, right? It's been so long. It's been ruling the web for a long time.
Compress JPG to any decent limits, then you're going to be rich.
We want to take everything slow because we are not funded by anybody whatsoever. So we are a completely bootstrap company running on profits from day one. So we'll have to take things slow. In that, What's your hatred about JPG?
Take it off. Can't say it in public.
So if there is, are we trying short? So is there any more questions that I can answer? It can be anything from how hard it is to run a company in Chennai to how hard it is to convince a customer sitting here in Chennai.
Yeah, so are you used for machine learning purpose?
Sorry?
Or you use for compression?
It is for machine learning purpose. Yeah, we found it to be very efficient in that.
What's your background?
My background?
Both of them.
Okay. So earlier, prior to starting the script, I was working at Apple for 2 years. And one of my major job roles was to handle all the iMessages that you send from one phone to the other. So I was involved with a lot of load balancing stuff over there. So that has actually helped us optimize it as much as possible. And before that, what I call my career mistake personally nothing, no offense. I used to work at Wipro. After that, before that, during college, I used to work with Microsoft as an intern. And then prior to that, of course, it was my school. So nothing huge on that front. But
Yeah, so my background is just purely script. We started, well, I started out of college. We met during GDG. I'm not sure if you guys heard of GDG. Google Development School. Yeah, so we ran it together. So that is where the entire big brainstorming and a lot of the team as well met. And I was out of college when we had this idea. Thankfully, I'm out of college right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My background and my straight line path is script.
and also for in the machine learning front, the reason why we started loving R so much was after Padani's talk on one of the Geek nights, where
It was
we,
very wonderful, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we still remember that talk. We were sitting over
I
there
don't- I
and
had an
we were wondering
opportunity to use it.
if we'll ever get to talk to a genius guy like that. Thank you so much, Padani, for that.
How does it help for you to the compression with machine learning or
So again, right, the machine actually learns the maximum amount of data type that you use in your organization. So we give you with a predefined set of data sets when we install shrink in your organization. So after that, it's up to the machine to learn and then analyze what data you access pretty often. And if you access a particular data type often, right, we would like to have it with less compression so that you can actually retrieve it faster. So those are the aspects in which we use machine learning in those areas. Someone had a question.
Congratulations on your success.
Oh, I don't call myself successful yet. So
Yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to know, like, what is the reason that you guys chose this string? Why did you want to work on the compression? What motivated you to do this?
okay. So his question was, what motivated you to jump into something that nobody is exploring yet? The answer is pretty simple. So I was not on WhatsApp till like probably till 2013 because I always felt that WhatsApp was too mainstream and too many people use it. I don't want to be on the platform. So that gives one perspective that we don't want to do anything that is way too mainstream. And one more thing is that we were super tired of people crying, saying that, hey, I don't have this space, so I'm going to purchase a new hard disk. Every single year, we were tired of it. We wanted to see if there is anything that is existing to solve this problem. And unfortunately, there was nothing existing. So we said, okay, even if we fail, we'll learn how the data is handled by the hard disks and computers, and we're going to have a huge learning. And we just went with the gut, to be honest. We just sat down and started coding. We didn't even think or do any business analytics or nothing of that sort. We wanted to solve one problem and one problem only, which is to stop the data growth. Because once I had a chance of exploring one of the manufacturing companies in Dubai, right? So they had a huge room, probably this size room, full of storage arrays, only storage arrays. I felt that I was in a room full of supercomputers, right? But hard disks, they don't do any huge processing or they don't have really brains. They just store static data. So I thought, I was actually panicking because we were going to the age where we all started. The supercomputers were of huge sizes, room full, and I was afraid that 2 years down the line or 10 years down the line, we are going to go back to the same place again. But this time in terms of hard disk storage, not in terms of computing power. So we wanted to stop. I know this is a very big topic to talk about, but we want to stop all these things and try as much as possible to literally go against the storage industry.
What is the encryption side of your story? Because
We
encryption is a natural twin brother to your.
exactly. So we use AES 256 encryption and also MD5 checks for when the data is being transferred from one place to the other. So that is one standard that we always
So the
use.
stored format itself is encrypted.
Yes, it isn't.
It isn't
It is encrypted.
optionally or
Always by default. Yeah. Because our major customer base has been UAE market at this point. So we thought we can actually make a difference in that area because UAE is reluctant to adopting to cloud. The major reason, one of the interesting things that happened was Dropbox leaked leaked one of the biggest airline companies' data for 4 hours. and the IT admins were not able to do anything at all. No, nothing. They can't go and patch Dropbox code, right? They had to sit and watch their data being available to the public for 4 hours. That's when they called us and they said, implement shrink immediately. And we were like, okay. Any more questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you get sent any acquisition offers from other companies?
We have gotten acquisition offers. We have gotten investment offers. We have gotten a lot of individual investor
I mean,
offers.
acquisition like benchmark for your valuation.
No. At this point, I'm not even looking at it because I'm here for a 100-year run, not for a 5-year, 10-year, and then exit and become rich. So I'm sure we both are on the same plate. So we want to make sure that Chennai, just like the way it is in cultural capital of India, we want to make sure that this company grows for 100 to 100 years, not grow for a while and then get acquired, become rich, have a Lamborghini in Chennai which cannot run. So we don't want to do that.
Maybe it getting flood.
Sorry? Oh yeah, floods.
Sorry.
So, any more questions?
How do you plan to take this forward? Yes, you're compressing data, but what is your future roadmap?
So currently we have roadmap set till 2020. So our roadmap states that by 2018 end, we want to build a very small and cute device that you can put inside your house, and you access your data whatsoever from anywhere else. I know there are some products existing, but we think we can add value much further than that in terms of compressing your data and storing like 10 years worth of data in a snap of a finger. So that's one thing, and we are trying out very small applications which can run in your phone, which compresses only images on your phone, right? So those things are on the roadmap, but we hope we get there.
Is your vision little ironic since we are moving from local storage to cloud storage? Since we can't have a backup in our local storage, so but when you have a storage inside your phone, again we are moving back to the same era which was from 5 to 10.
That is completely true, right? But let's take the case of India. Airtel is going to increase its broadband rate for the next few years, no doubt in that, and the speeds are going to be the same. So that is some prototype that we wanted to test out because we ultimately want to do something for the end user who always complain that their memory card is full, their other stuff is full, right? So we want to solve that issue because not all the people move to the cloud, and I truly believe that someday the cloud is going to let us down. I'm just being completely open here because I'm always scared of what the cloud people can do because all my data is there on the cloud. Tomorrow, if they increase the price, what am I supposed to do? NSA is a whole different story.
So, Skynet aside, to answer your question, so all the hospitals, right, they are supposed to comply to certain regulations. One of them is HIPAA. So, like hospitals and one other thing I can think of is governments and the defense industry. They hate the cloud. So they want everything to be in their control. They generate mass amounts of data. And it will be a nice thing for them.
Yeah, we have very particular market capacity, but when you are addressing the people market, global audience.
I don't know what they're addressing.
No, the product was
We wanted to try it for the end users also, something which you can put inside your house. We'll have to think about it, obviously.
Everybody will have, I would say 60% of my data is with me. I can load some of the images, not all the images. I've seen guys having tons of books downloaded from BitTorrent. They can't put it on the cloud.
Yeah,
They don't know what to do with it.
exactly.
So there's so many things like that. So there's so many files that
Movies, for example.
movies. Movies is okay, but books and so many e-books, all those things, they want to store it.
Yeah.
Because when they want to be able to refer it even 5 years down the line. So
Exactly.
there are a lot of stuff like that. So
It's going to be a very,
That's
very
useful.
hard. It's going to be a very, very hard road, but we are talking about the very long term here.
you could sync it and then move to cloud, then that will be a
That's what we do for the data center migrations, right? Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
what we do.
Even for-
Yeah.
But what seems to be kind of, I'm thinking on one is the encryption, the other, if I can call it instead of twin brother, the triplet, the streaming, the side of it is.
Streaming is something we've been fantasizing ever since we saw Silicon Valley episodes. So those guys stream 4K videos in compressed format. So that is something we are still exploring, but we're not able to crack it, to be honest.
Isn't that where the max money is?
It is where the max money is. But we want to take it really slow. I don't want to urge into the market and break my leg. So
All these 16 algorithms, they have nothing to do with streaming,
no,
right?
no, they have
You
nothing
have
to do.
to venture into a totally different bunch of.
Yes. So currently we want to acquire as many customers as possible in terms of Fortune 500 companies and then expand to other regions. Because we are a team, the entire team, marketing, sales, design, everything is 7 people handling 10 customers in production.
How
So
many developers?
7 completely. Like even I develop, she develops, all the people develop. Yes. Okay.
Build
Okay.
primarily on what? Python and
Sorry?
what are you? What's
Ruby
your-
on Rails
Ruby
for
on
the web portal and R and C for other stuff. Thank you so much, guys. I'll be around for questions.